looking at the Roland Micro, nice little battery-driven amplifier. It's a nice practice amp. I think it's a 4-inch speaker, it could be 5-inch, I'm not too sure on that, but it's very, very small. But for a tiny amplifier, it packs quite a full sound. We're going to just have a quick overview, show you the controls, and the controls sort of speak for themselves, I guess. Nice basic layout. One tone control, just bass and treble left or right. Your effects are quite nice. I was using a bit of chorus there. It's got your basic phaser, flanger, chorus, tremolo configuration. Very nice reverb systems that Boss got inside this as well, or Roland actually. Roland and Boss are sort of the same. And then the delay, a bit of echo, we'll demonstrate that later. Volume and gain, basically your input stage for a bit of overdrive if you want to. I'm running it on JC clean, basically trying to get the JC 120 clear sound, that legendary sound. It's got an acoustic setting as well. I'm going to take you through some Rectifier later for some pretty hard heavy metal. But enough talking, let's just see what it sounds like. Get some different extremes, get some sort of comparisons from one little amplifier. I thought it might be quite a cool idea to put my second micro cube next to it. I'm playing through the red one. And on the white amplifier, on the white micro cube, you can actually see how I've got my setups for each sound that I'm going to demonstrate. So using a Brit combo, for example, over here, gain is quite low, volume is quite low, bit of echo on that, you can hear the echo. With the gain low like this, you can get nice string expression. Nice clean tones. And now we're going to just take different settings. Like I said, I want to try and get as many different contrasts as possible to show how versatile the little amp is. And if you got one of these, like my student asked me to do this video, you can set yours up similar, work a bit around it, see if it matches your guitar, and just enjoy the amp. Now for our next setting, we're going to go a bit more hard rock. Trying to capture more of a sort of old school 70s rock sound. Sort of freeze all right now. You can see now on the amplifier I'm using a classic rock over here, classic stack, trying to emulate something close to a Marshall. Gain's not too high, a bit higher than it was before. I switched over to reverb now. And if I turn the reverb quite high, like if I do this for example, you can hear the transition change. Sounds like you're playing a million miles away. But let's take it back down to where it was. And just enough to give that sort of depth to that, a bit of character, that sort of space. It's quite a nice setting to it. And let's try a different clean setting again. Trying to get the more than a feeling chorus arpeggio on the chords. You can see I've taken the chorus a bit up over here, reverb just a little bit less, gains come down quite a bit, and I've got it set for JC clean, so it's got more of that typical Roland JC 120 sort of vibe going for it. It's got a nice full sound, and now we're going to switch to something really hard rock for the fun of it. And for those that like their inner Iron Maiden, inner Ozzy Osbourne, quite nice to stay for a small amp. Now what we've done here, we've gone for Rectifier. It's your really heavy sort of dirty distortion. Gain is quite high, it could still go a bit louder. Bit of reverb again for ambience. I love reverb, I know it's not everybody's preference. It's really what makes you happy, I guess. I would be hesitant to use echo, because the hassle with echo is if your echo isn't in time with your beat. In other words, if your echo goes ta 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 and your drums are going doof, da, doof, and they're not in sync, you can actually end up with notes actually sort of not being in rhythm. So if you're using echoes and delays, just make sure what your tempo is, and make sure that you set up for that as well. And if we're just jamming, obviously a bit of echo like this will be sort of quite sweet. It's a bit of an overkill now, but something like this. a big sound again. I said it quite a few times, but it really is a cool sound for a small little amplifier. And now we're going to go to a complete opposite side. We're going to see what the acoustic sounds like. Actually, there's quite a nice acoustic guitar sort of vibe. What we've done, there's your acoustic setting, gains down quite a bit. Effects are switched off completely, so you can hear there's absolute no echo, no reverb, it's just dead note. Quite nice. It's pretty much what you can expect from an electric guitar trying to sound like an acoustic. So the acoustic setting isn't for you to use an acoustic guitar, it's just to sort of try and get you an acoustic sort of vibe if you want to play electric through the amplifier. And basically that's all that the amplifier really has got going for it. It's a stunning amplifier. A lot of different facilities, different options. The phase is quite nice. You want to get like a nice funky sort of phase setting, you can maybe turn it to over there, maybe go back to JC1 clean, for example. And you could get something that sounds sort of like this. Nice bit of phaser on there. Put a bit of tremolo on as well, gives you sort of a beat to it, something like this. You can control the speed of the beat, more subtle. And you can hear the beat inside it, and what I'm doing is actually just turning that control on the red amplifier, saying it's your. Nice for that sort of deep, open sort of suspenseful sort of vibe. And you can hear picking with speed there. So in short, it's a very, very cool amplifier to play with. It's nice for recording with if you want to mic it up, if you're sitting in a small room. Jamming with some mates with acoustic guitars, you can plug your electric into this. Really nice amplifier, like I said, runs on batteries, all mains. So you've got a bit of a choice there. I'm just going to show you the back end of the amp. So the battery compartment over here. Auxiliary in, you can plug your MP3 player inside there, or your cell phone if you want to sit and jam along with a backtrack. You can run mains through, like we've mentioned as well. So it's a really very awesome all-in-one package for practicing with. If you can't get the Roland cubes, other nice amplifiers to look at is the Katanas. They're also very, very nice. I'd also consider having a look at the Nux. But just a personal opinion, try and stay away from amplifiers that don't have reverb, don't have two channels. Test the amplifier out and ask yourself, should I spend just a little bit more, and actually how much more quality do I get? So buying cheap is not necessarily always the best move, because your sound will go with it. But this little amplifier here, I've been using them for years, haven't had a day's problem with them, and this amplifier you're looking at now, the red one, is over 30 years old, believe it or not. So Roland Micro cubes, thank you very much, they're stunning. And another amplifier to look into, which I almost forgot about, in the background there is a black star busy hiding behind the corner there. We'll demo that another day, but also a nice amplifier. So just make sure your amplifier's got nice options. That if you're going to practice, make sure your practicing is really, really special. Make sure your tone is sound as best as you can afford. When you compromise, you're compromising your creativity.